Doom the Dark Ages on PlayStation 5, physical media, Nintendo Switch 2 game key cards. We have an update there. There's a lot going on, and of course, I am very passionate about this topic, so I'm just ready to go off on another tirade for everything that we've been seeing lately.
I can see clearly now it's a license key. I don't own anything. I don't own anything. I don't own anything.
So up front, that is the news. Doom the Dark Ages, PlayStation 5, it's confirmed, this new release from id Software. It only has 85 megabytes on the disc. Basically nothing. They've pulled a Call of Duty here, so you need to install the game online.
Look at that. But it's eligible for everyone, man. What are y'all trying to do, man? Y'all trying to put it on the shelf, or you trying to play the game? Now, I get it, man. I like to collect physical games, too. But don't get it twisted. I'm still going to get my game on, and I'm going to be playing through Dark Ages through Game Pass. So for all you people saying that there's no point for Game Pass, y'all don't own your games, well, guess what? You don't own your games either, Mystic. And I find it so funny that you guys keep fighting this war, but yet everybody continues to keep buying digital. You know, you guys are acting as if you've never bought a digital game not once in your life, man. Don't tell me that, man, because I've seen some of them sales. I've seen the whole Mafia trilogy for like $5. Don't tell me y'all didn't pick that up. Oh, I'm going to avoid it. I'm going to buy them separately, get, 3 different physical copies, which would only cost me more money to do that than to just buy the sale. Even when you have physical copies, I'm going to tell you something. I end up opting out for the digital version anyway. Matter of fact, I got the Bloodborne, revamped collection or whatever with 1 and 2. And I ain't even opened it. I'm more likely going to buy the digital version so I can still keep that sealed. So you have to start asking yourself, what is the point of physical media if you're just going to have the game and put it on the shelf? Like, you got to think about that.
Things. There is still that misinformation of, modern games are all internet required.
They are.
I kind of love that every time I remind people about Does It Play, the resource...
What are you talking about, bro? That is, 500, 1,000 entries? You understand that they have made over about 18,000 games. I mean, there's a lot of shovelware, I know. But still, there's about 18,000 games made for these platforms, right? Give or take. And you only showing up 1,000 entries? And you want to sit there and talk about, Does It Play? What do you mean? The vast majority, bro, your whole disk drive. Listen, if your disk drive goes out on your PS5 10, 15, 20 years down the road, you're not even going to be able to synchronize it online, which therefore means it doesn't play. Maybe it plays currently, but as for the inevitable future, that's not going to be the answer that you guys are going to want to hear.
You can check this and see the vast majority of PS5, Switch, and even Xbox games, they can be played and installed offline.
That's not true. So you're lying to yourself because look, it says 551 entries, and I know damn well that the Nintendo Switch 1 had way more games than that. Cut the cap, bro. Y'all just don't want to admit that these consoles that y'all picking up are online focused. What are y'all talking about, bro? I know they definitely made more than 551 games, bro. I don't care if they're Nintendo. I don't care if it's a few third party. That is still minuscule for how long the Switch has been out and how many games that platform has. And you can only put up 551 entries? Come on, man. Like, I mean, just admit it, bro. Gaming is going digital.
Whenever I see this stuff pop up on, like, Reddit or YouTube or whatever the case is, there's always somebody there now that is able to correct somebody and let people know bring back PS1 through 3 games on PS4 5. Look, I want that. Sure, that's not what that team does. The PlayStation Preservation team...
Then why they call the PlayStation Studios IP Preservation? If this is not what they're doing, bro. Like, even in the name themselves, they can't even do what they're labeled to do, bro, which is preserving play. Because you know why? These companies don't care, bro. Like, hopefully this opens your eyes and you people realize, like, yeah, I don't think none of these, multi-billion or multi-trillion-dollar companies actually care about its consumers. I mean, it really took you guys this long to realize this?
Are only there strictly for, like, Sony's own interest of archiving their own data.
Yep, keyword, their own interest, not the interest of gamers.
For their own use, so they can retrieve those things later for whatever they intend on doing.
Yeah, well, we can tell because that's why they keep coming up with remasters and remakes because they're looking at the data of how well these games did on PS4, and now they're doing the same thing again on PS5. If anything, PlayStation Studios' IP preservation team is actually ruining PlayStation because that's why we ain't really getting any new things.
as far as marketing, monetizing, making a game. They're just archiving source code, art assets, multiple different builds of a game, certain milestone builds. They're doing all that stuff. And so while it's a cool headline to see, they've archived 650 terabytes of data going back to 1994. That's not necessarily something where it's in your interest as far as you being able to comfortably access PS1.
So why do we care? But you know what? You can comfortably access PlayStation's games all through what, guys? The PC platform. You know, the same platform that you guys continuously hate every single day. You know, I mean, hopefully this is a wake-up call for you console peasants.
As far as what they're doing preservation-wise, from their point of view, it's a matter of them protecting their games and making the access to such a way where they can monetize.
What you talking about? The vast majority of these companies don't even have games on the disc, bro. What are you talking about? Microsoft, Capcom ain't even doing it for Switch 2. Electronic Arts? Are you serious? Epic Games with their storefront? Bro, a lot of these companies that are listed right here don't even have Tencent games. Y'all, bro, really? Y'all want to... Yo, this is... Bro, you're delusional, bro. Like, I mean, like I said, man... You just don't want to admit it, bro. Like, you still want to hold on to this false philosophy that gaming is still physical when we see every year people start buying less and less physical video games, man. You know, it's about time you people just give up and just enjoy gaming. If it's that much of a problem, go back and play retro. You got games from over 30 years ago that you can still continue to experience on the cartridge, or should I say on the CD. You know, why are you guys fighting a war that you know you cannot win?
It is still this very broad term, and very much I would still categorize discs that can be playable offline.
But what you talking about? That game cannot be played offline. I have this same game. I couldn't even get the game to work unless Bro, you're delusional, bro. Like, what are you putting your hand in there for, bro? That game is an online only game. What are you talking about, bro? Hold on. Let's hear this.
That and the fourth. That's really, in my view, preservation, but it is still this
man looking at his wall. It's not but a license key, man. I can see clearly now. It's a license key. I don't own anything. I don't own anything. I don't own anything. Like, this is embarrassing, man. You really gonna prove a point by pulling out Assassin's Creed Valhalla? Bro, that game is not on the disc, bro. I know, because I had it.
Very broad term, and very much I would still categorize discs that can be playable offline.
And that game ain't one of them. This man looking stupid. This man spent all his money on license keys. You might as well hang that up on the wall there, Jimmy, because you don't own that game on that disc, man. What are you doing?
And as a part of that, but it's seemingly like, when these headlines come out about what, Phil Spencer says, what the PlayStation preservation team is saying, these things are just, they're not related, and they, quite frankly, just don't seem to care, or at the very minimum, it seems like Microsoft doesn't. It is still kind of this...
And Sony don't care either. I'm sick and tired of people acting as if PlayStation cares any more than they all don't care. Okay, that's why your disk drive has to be synchronized online. If Sony cared, that's no different than how you got to synchronize your Xbox online before you even have the opportunity of using it. It's the same exact procedure. But yet, for some reason, y'all gonna give Sony credit for something that they're doing the same thing.
So that's actually where we can get into the Nintendo Switch 2 debacle, right? Because we are hearing, based on the leaks from Arc System Works, that there are indeed only 3 types of formats that are found for the Nintendo Switch 2. As far as what Nintendo is offering, their vendor options to their publishing partners. So it's strictly just a 64 gigabyte cartridge with the full game, and then the key card format. And that is, if it's true, completely catastrophic. That is terrible news, because it wasn't.
I don't think that's true, and I can explain why. Because you know why? The Switch 2 and the Switch 1 all use the same. They all use the same cartridge. Gamester, you just exposed it. Exactly. So that whole thing of, we can't put the game on a Switch 2 cartridge unless it's 64 gigabytes, that's not true. Who told you that? They could use the Switch 1. The game could be accessed through the Switch 2. Y'all like, snap games. I just read. These companies are playing, yo. Oh, there's only 3 format. We couldn't figure it out. We put Poey Tetris on Switch 1, but we couldn't do it on Switch 2. All you had to do is take a Switch 1 cartridge, put the assets of it, and there you go. It's the same exact thing, bro, because it can be played through the Switch 2. It's not a different form of media. Do you get what I'm saying? Y'all getting played, bro. Y'all don't want to admit it. Oh, but that's why. Keep coming up with excuses for these companies. Keep doing it because they love it. They love it. While they sitting there playing with you like a puppet, they out here making you dance like a dummy. Okay? It's about time you ponies realize that physical media is done, it's gone, and this is the new future of gaming. Gamester with another W because I've told everybody this way before anybody. Let's go.
Exactly well known just yet if there was a middle option, like say a 32 gigabyte card, because that's where the rumor
there is, bro. These companies are lying to you, bro. They just don't want to do it. Tears of Kingdom is on a 32. Mario Kart World is on a 32. What are you talking about, bro? Look up the data for those games. Mario Kart is like, what, 24 gigabyte? That is most definitely on a 32 gigabyte cartridge. Tears of Kingdom was one of the first few games that was on a 32 gigabyte cartridge. Dragon Quest in Japan was another game that was on a 32 gigabyte cartridge. What was another one? There's another 32. Oh, Witcher 3, for another example, was on another game on a 32 gigabyte cartridge. Like, what are we doing? Like, hey, come on, man. Y'all are ridiculous, man. Out here capping for these companies, thinking that they have your best interest. They are lying to you, Jimmy. They are lying to you.
Derived from is that with the first Switch, Nintendo offered a variety of card sizes.
And
it's this price group.
You don't own it. It ain't no different than another man keys, man.
Was also to the where allegedly the 64 gigabyte card costs up to like $16 something, which is a ton of money.
Yep, and I can guarantee you that Switch 2 games will be up to 100 once they decide to put the next Legend of Zelda on a 64 gigabyte. Guaranteed.
So it's really more of a Nintendo problem. I know it's very easy to point fingers at all these different publishers that are opting for the keycard route and going, oh, they're not willing to pay for the 64 gigabyte card.
This is why I said, as the consumer, we would compensate for that. The problem is with the Nintendo Switch 2, they don't even know what they're doing. They hustling you guys with old accessories, old gimmicks, old everything, upgrades, updates, because Nintendo didn't even think this out properly. That's why Mario Kart World shouldn't even be an $80 game. It should really just be $60 top. Well, maybe $70 if you want to go based off the Tears of Kingdom of the 32 gigabyte cartridge. I think people will say, okay, I understand that, because that's something that Nintendo alluded to. But even they don't even know what they're doing. They don't even know their own strategy, because they try to hustle y'all. They try to hustle y'all so bad, they weren't even thinking. They were like, oh, we got to hustle these guys. Oh, snap, let's put Mario Kart World. It's really a $70 game, but let's charge $80. You know? Like, they really try to use the name alone to get that additional $10 off you dummies.
But
and it worked.
I mean, $16 is a ton of money per copy of the game that you're trying to sell at retail.
No, because if Yakuza 0, for example, if like the game was priced at what, $50, I think people would gladly pay $66 or even close to $70 to have the game on the cartridge. I think, you know what I mean? I think that's an excuse. I just think these companies don't want to care enough to do it because they feel like these games are going to sit up on the shelves, and more likely will, and the games will get dropped in price, and then the company gets screwed because you guys bought it for cheap. That's the reason why. But if you put it on the game key card, it's not a lose-lose situation because you don't own the game anyway. Do you get what I'm saying? Because y'all like GameStop, that's a good point. Because if they do put the 16 gigabyte cartridge and it doesn't sell at the price that these third party want the game to sell, then guess who loses money? Ding, 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 ding. Good answer, Carl. The third party. They lose the money because they put $16 into the cartridge of ownership. You waited for it as a smart consumer to get the game priced at $20, and guess what? You end up paying for the game more than what they priced the manufacturing cost for the cartridge. So essentially, you robbed them. Is how they looking at it.
You know, it's really Nintendo that basically killed this potential third-party offline play support because, yeah, these games are going to be printed on PlayStation 5 as well.
And what's crazy,
generally speaking, and Blu-rays are just not seeing that kind of problem. They're not this massive...
Yeah, and that's why gaming went to CDs. Like, I mean, how delusional are you Nintendo fanboys to think that this was the future of gaming when the N64 was bottlenecked for the same thing, for using cartridges? Oh, yeah, that's right, because that's why with the GameCube they use CDs. Exactly, because you can put more. You know what, bro? Y'all are dummies, man. Because that's why. That's why gaming shifted from cartridges to CDs. Because it was less expensive. You big dummy. And then Nintendo did it for a next-gen system. Of course this was bound to happen. I can guarantee the next Switch 3 is going to be digital only. I can guarantee the new PS6 and the new Xbox is going to be digital only. They don't want to put the games on the disc. They don't. But what I don't like is that they're charging more money for this, right? And this is something that y'all should be pushing and advocating. How are you going to charge an extra $10, Microsoft, or anybody, if you're not putting the game on the CD? Because then I can sit there and say, okay, I get it, Microsoft, you need to put more discs, you got to put more layers, whatever the case is, so we'll pay for that. You are paying $80 for the game, and you're still not getting full access to the game. This is a joke. Like, you got to really be like, damn, Gacy, right, though. We're paying more money for the game, and we're still not getting ownership. But, bro, they're playing y'all, man. How y'all respect these companies is beyond me.
Format that is very costly to manufacture. Blu-rays are like a quarter or something, maybe for Sony, and then by the time it publishes,
it's about like $2 to $3, depending on the layers. It goes based off the layers of the disc, right? It's like 25, 50, 75, 100
to pay for it, maybe $1 or something. And if anything, that's what makes it so
yeah. There you go.
Why can't they print full game data on there, and why can't they buy another disc when, God forbid, the game goes over 100 gigabytes, like we saw with Indiana Jones? It's like they can't even use the full 100 gigabytes. You could have easily also shipped another Blu-ray with it as well. So,
which costs more money. That would be $10. You see, $5. You said $5 for the other one, and then that's $10 because you put 2 discs.
There's that rant that's going on, but yeah, the Switch,
because that shows you they don't care if you enjoy the game. They don't care if you own it. And this is why I try to tell you. It's just like that quote, man, that stands strong to this day. What is it? I forgot how it goes, but it's like you will buy something, but you will own literally nothing.
It's catastrophic. We did see for limited run games, they put out a statement
that's a good one.
People know that for their numbered games, they will be full game cards.
That's crazy. This literally means nothing.
64 gig cards. They are still partnering with other publishers for non-numbered games, and that's where it's, I would assume, more out of their control because they would obviously choose the key card route. They just have to, in a weird way, as far as
they literally admitted. Hold on.
With a lot of publishers going under and not selling enough copies of their games.
Yeah.
It's no surprise at all that all these studios are opting for key cards, especially when their bottom line might not be exactly hurt, since this is more of a core audience we're talking about. The kind of viewer that would sit here and watch this rant about physical game cards. Most other people that are playing games, it's still a very big industry. Preservation, again, is a very...
He's upset that limited run, it's going to be a case-by-case basis, and the numbered games might be the only ones that are physical, which proves literally nothing because they still have to ask the third party if that's what they want to do. So yes, limited run will still have involvement with Switch 2, but that's also going to be dependent on the third party. This is crazy, man. Limited run, man, their whole business philosophy might be over now. It might be. You know what I'm saying? Because look at it, bro. Look at what's happening right in front of you. You know what I mean? They say our numbered games will have the game on the cartridge, but all the other ones won't. See? So there you go. Hopefully, guys understand that physical media is dying. You know what I mean? It is what it is, bro. I don't know what else to tell you, man. I know this man's looking at the back of his wall like, please, boy, I spent all my money on this. It ain't nothing but a license key, boy. I should have known better. I should have invested my money in Pokemon cards or something. I should have bought something that I actually own. I feel stupid. I'm gonna take my Assassin's Creed Valhalla and delete it off my hard drive. Cause I got it and stole it.